Hi Year 9 and welcome to your options for hospitality and catering. So the outline of the course, hospitality and catering is a qualification aimed to provide you with the skills and understanding of the hospitality industry as well as the catering industry. So when we look at this industry, it's not about just cooking. It's not a cooking course. It is a course all about the industry that provides food and beverages and accommodation services. So things like hotels and pubs and bars and restaurants. So you're going to be covering the nutrition of food and food safety, food preparation and cooking skills. And we're going to aim to give you the transferable skills of problem solving, organisation, time management, planning and communication. All essential in many, many job roles, but really essential when it comes to working in a kitchen. So you'll be assessed by doing 2 units. Unit 1 is hospitality and catering in industry, and that is a written exam that lasts an hour and a half. It's worth 40% of your final qualification, and it'll be out of 90 marks. Unit 2 is worth 60% of your final assessment, and that is hospitality and catering in action. Now, this is a non-exam assessment, so you'll get given 9 hours to prepare and plan a menu based on a question set by the exam board. They'll give you a scenario. You will then plan out what recipes and dishes you would like to create and think about the nutritional values, thinking about how it's going to then work together and how all the food's going to complement each other. You're then going to do a practical cooking assessment, which lasts for 3 hours, like MasterChef. You will then have to present the food and you then have to evaluate the food. The food is then tasted by your food teacher, and they will then give you a grade on how you worked inside the kitchen, your health and hygiene, how you cleaned up, how you presented the food, did it meet the requirements of the brief, and you will also then be assessed on your assessment of it and how you think you did and how you could have been further improved. The Unit 1 exam unit is worth 40% and it covers 5 learning objectives. Learning objective 1 is to look at the catering providers and how they operate. Then you're going to look at how the provisions are then needed for those catering environments. Then you're going to have a look at the health and safety requirements and the legal requirements that are associated with working and with food and providing food. Then you look at the health and safety element. So you're looking at how that will then impact on somebody's health and what would happen if somebody became ill in your restaurant. And then we set you a task where you have to then apply all that to a specific environment. So you get in the exam, they will ask you under these certain conditions, what sort of health and safety, what sort of provision would you need to put in place in order to make the food safe for everybody that works there and everybody that comes into your establishment. We then look at the practical units. You are going to be assessed on the nutritional planning of your menu and providing alternatives to people that might have special dietary requirements, vegetarian, vegan, or they might be allergic to certain foods, and how you would then provide for them. Understanding the planning of that menu and then creating the final menu that you're going to go with, and then actually cooking the final dishes, preparing them and working in the kitchen in a safe way. A typical lesson might involve a theory lesson or practical cooking skills or techniques, food nutrition and health and safety, food choices and deciding which food you're going to cook and which ones complement each other and nutritional values, and then working out your menus to go together to create your final dishes. You should choose this course if you are willing to think for yourself, show a bit of individuality in deciding what you want to cook and how you want to cook it, be willing to work at home and practice the dishes and make sure that you know exactly what you're doing when it comes to the exam, and be willing to try out new techniques and challenge yourself. You'll be assessed on how you prepare your food and your knife skills. As you can see, this is from a Year 10 class where they have prepared all the ingredients needed for a stir fry. Being careful how they're using the knife, using the correct chopping board and equipment, and also cutting the food all to exactly the same size so it cooks evenly. Here we are looking at using raw ingredients to create food. So this is a class that they have prepared pasta from scratch, and then they have cooked it to make a bolognese sauce to go with it, and then prepared it on a dish. So progression, hospitality and catering builds on a progression towards AS level and A level catering courses. We also have a range of vocational courses and BTECs and apprenticeships that you can go on to. So you take this if you wanted to work it in as a chef, as a dietitian, as a food specialist, a food nutrition teacher, a hotel manager, a wellness coordinator. There are many, many jobs that would use the skills of being able to plan, communicate and work well as part of a team. These are your transferable skills, but if you wanted to work in the catering environment, this is going to be an essential skill that's going to have you ready for the world of work. If you do decide to find out a little bit more about it, please come and speak to me, Mr. Day, and I can talk to you about all the different elements to do with the course, and you can have a look at the sort of work that we do throughout year 10 and into year 11. I look forward to hearing from you soon, and if I do end up teaching you next year, I very much look forward to it.